What's up, guys? It's Dan from Coin Bureau Trading, back at it again with another crypto market update. Today we've got Cardano, Chainlink, and Algorand. Of course, these are three top altcoins that a lot of people are watching. They haven't been doing too much lately, so I'm sure you're all wondering, are they going to pump? Are they going to dump? What's going on with these altcoins? Where are they headed next? If this is the kind of content that you enjoy, then be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ping that notification bell. Before we get started, guys, do keep in mind that nothing in this video is financial advice. It's just my personal analysis of these cryptos. Your analysis could be different, and honestly, guys, if it is, that's awesome. The more difference of opinion we have, the better traders, the better investors we're all going to become, as I love to say. So with that being said, guys, of course, we're looking now here. This is a catalyst, pun intended, related to Cardano. One of the reasons why I think ADA could pump in the coming days here. I do think the rest of the crypto market is going to be headed higher. I think we had a really nice washout with all this leverage long liquidations. I think it was the biggest liquidation since 2021, so that's perfect thing to reset, sentiment and positioning within the crypto market. But with that being said, guys, of course, for those of you who are unfamiliar, Cardano basically kind of has this, let's say, like a community funding or I guess community voting and funding of these upcoming crypto projects in Cardano's ecosystem, and they've been this is what Project Catalyst is, and the latest fund is going to be closing tomorrow on the 12th. So it wouldn't be surprising to me at all if there's like a close, and then maybe one of the projects in there is like super exciting and it gets people excited, and then there's some headlines coming out. Again, I'm not saying this is going to happen. It's just an example of like a catalyst of a narrative that people are probably going to point to when the ADA starts rallying again. They're going to say, oh, it's because of this Project Catalyst, which, as I like to say, guys, prices tend to come first, and then the narrative tends to come after. So with that being said, we can turn over to the chart here for ADA. I do think that ADA is looking quite good. Of course, it did have a pretty nasty beating here, but as you can see here, guys, the chart's still looking pretty decent. We have a starting point of around 75 cents, resistance of around $1.25 quite clearly here. That's where ADA struggled to get above earlier this month. And the difference there, of course, is 50 cents. So we basically just take the difference, we add it to the resistance, and that gives us a target of $1.75, which, from the resistance line would be roughly 40%. And of course, ADA does need to get above that resistance to get confirmation that it's going to keep headed higher. Right now, it's kind of hanging around support of around $1. But if it was to rally from the current level, then you're looking at a 75% upside, which is not too shabby at all. So if you're holding ADA currently, then don't be surprised if it does keep heading higher and you get another 75% candle, let's say. Again, it's not going to happen right away, guys. This is going to take a few days, probably. And I would expect between now and the end of the year, ADA will probably hit this target. Of course, we're on the daily chart here, guys. We're always using the daily chart. And for those of you who are wondering, it's like, how do you end up with the starting point of 75 cents? That's roughly what ADA was trading at earlier in the year. That was kind of like the high back in the spring. And that kind of tells me that we can use that, especially when you have a little bit of cluster of price action also around 75 cents. We can basically say that, like, when we're looking, again, like the way that I like personally to analyze charts is I try and like not focus too much on what happened in the past. Obviously, that helps me like identify support and resistance targets. But I really try and focus on like what's in front of me when I'm drawing these starting points and resistance and targets. I just look, okay, like what's happened just in the last couple of weeks. You know what I mean? What's happened? What's right in front of me that I can see, and pretend that the rest of the chart, like pretend that everything that happened back here doesn't exist. Of course it does, and you have to take that into account. But basically, we're just looking at what's in front of us and saying, okay, what are the charts telling us that are in front of us, right? And what the price action is telling us, like the price action that we see right here, is that ADA is probably going to head higher, up around 40% to that $1.75 target, but only if it gets above this resistance level. If it fails to hold this support level of around $1, then it could fall all the way back down to that starting point and kind of chop within this range. That's not my base case. I do think that ADA is going to recover, and I do think it's headed for that target, which again, from current prices, you're looking at a pretty nice 75% gain. But again, guys, we need to get, or rather ADA needs to get confirmation of getting above that $1.25 resistance level. And again, this is on the daily, and it's going to take probably a few days for it to get back to that level. With that being said, guys, if you might have noticed that we're using Bybit there. Of course, the Coin Bureau deals page is a Bybit deal of up to $60,000 in rewards, and we also have trading fee discounts on Blowfin, OKX, KuCoin, and Binance. As I've been saying, guys, these trading fee discounts are going to help you out a lot. I know like these sign-up bonuses, you have to like be a whale and like, deposit a bunch of money and do a bunch of stuff. But for the trading fee discounts, usually the requirements there are super low, and those trading fee discounts will help you out a lot, especially even if you're just trading with a few $100s or a few $1,000s. If you're trading frequently, these deals will help you out a lot, and they'll save you on a lot of fees. It doesn't cost you a thing to sign up. The exchange gets a new user, we get a cut of your fees, and you get a trading fee discount. So it's a win-win-win. So just when you have some time, take advantage of the links in the description and that deals page. See what's in there. I'm sure that you'll find a couple things in there that'll help you out. With that being said, guys, let's turn over here to Chainlink. And of course, some of you might have probably already heard that Chainlink partnered with Coinbase to basically have a token to to work on tokenized assets on a tokenized assets platform. And of course, logically, that foreshadows similarly to ADA, but I would say even in a much bigger way. This kind of foreshadows the launch of this actual platform, or I guess like a formal, let's say like a product, let's say something, because of course all we have now is just like the announcement of the partnership, but we want to still see some kind of like launch saying like, brought to you by Chainlink type of thing, if that makes any sense. And once you start seeing stuff like that, like Coinbase tokenized asset brought to you by Chainlink, obviously that's going to cause Link to explode. And I suspect that this is going to probably come out in the coming weeks. I don't think it's going to be coming out tomorrow. It's going to take some time, and of course that is consistent with what we're seeing here on the charts for Link. And again, similarly to ADA, we're just looking at what's in front of us. And in this case, we have a starting point that I would say is quite clearly around $20, resistance of around $27, and of course the difference there is $7. So that gives a target of $34. And when we take the difference of $7 added to resistance, $34, which is around 30% from that resistance level. And of course, similarly to ADA, Link is currently trading around the support level of $22, and it does need to get above that resistance before it starts charging higher for that $34 target. And if it fails to hold the support, then it will fall down to that starting point, which, as you can see, we did see a couple wicks down to that starting point, and these long wicks at the bottom kind of tell you that people were buying that dip, which is not surprising at all. And in my view, it just kind of reinforces that this $22 level is super strong and a super strong zone of support. With that being said, guys, yeah, I do think that Link is going to be headed higher here in the coming weeks. Again, probably by the end of the year, I would expect it to hit $34. Whether that's something that corresponds to the launch of that tokenized asset platform or product, that's up for debate. I do think that's probably going to come a little bit later, maybe in early January, and maybe that'll be the thing that takes Link above $34 and way higher. But again, guys, we're just going to trade what's in front of us and take things one step at a time. With that being said, we can move over now to Algorand, and a similar thing here. I was going through Algorand's, as you guys could probably tell, like when I'm looking for like catalysts, like current catalysts, like why the crypto's pumping or something that's going to be coming up, I check the Twitter/X. It's the simplest way to do it. Sometimes if I really need to, I'll go through like the blog posts or like like announcements and stuff like for on the website. But 99% of the time, they'll also have this information on their Twitter/X. And in Algorand's case, it's really interesting. So they posted a tweet in late November, so I guess a couple weeks ago. And what I noticed is that in this, basically it's like a recap of all the stuff that's been going on in Algorand's ecosystem. And it's really interesting is that one of the things they mention here is basically like a milestone, is a staking rewards coming, right? So staking rewards are coming. And of course, I know that Algo already has some staking. I haven't looked too closely at the staking, but I remember a long time ago that the staking rewards weren't super high. So I suspect that this is what they mean by staking rewards are coming. It's not that they don't have staking rewards now; it's that they're going to be improving the existing staking rewards mechanism and structure. And obviously that's going to be something that's going to be super bullish for Algo. I don't know when that's going to be coming out, but I do expect it's probably going to be coming out in the next couple of weeks, just like the tokenized assets platform with Coinbase and Chainlink there. And of course, we can now turn over to the Algo chart. And again, guys, and it's not surprising at all that like Algo and Link and ADA are looking all the same. Most altcoins are looking like really similar in terms of the charts. And of course, it makes it pretty easy to analyze because we can kind of get confirmation, I guess, across all three that what we're seeing is kind of consistent because the market moves together. But anyways, guys, I don't want to get too down into the rabbit hole there. We have a starting point here for Algo of around 32 cents. We have resistance of around 52 cents. Of course, that gives us a difference of 20. So we add that difference to the resistance and we get a target of 72 cents, which from the resistance level, once Algo gets above that, you'll be looking at around a 37% gain, which is not too shabby. And of course, from the current level, that would be roughly a 70% gain, just like with ADA. But of course, just like with Link and just like with ADA, Algo is holding on to the support level of around 40 cents. I do think that's going to hold. Similarly with Link, we can see that there's been a lot of dip buying as soon as the price fell below that level. A lot of people were buying that dip with these wicks. Like again, this is all on the daily chart, guys. And these wicks tell you that people were buying that dip as soon as it fell below 40 cents. And I do think that Algo is going to be rallying up to that resistance level. Maybe it'll chop for a couple days, and then it'll keep heading higher and hitting that 72-cent target probably by the end of the year. And again, in the worst case scenario, it'll just fall back down to the starting point, maybe chop there around and maybe chop around there, and then chop between these two levels, the starting point and the resistance. And yeah, guys, so yeah, all three of these altcoins, I think, and it's really funny. I'll just quickly note that in yesterday's video, I said, like Solana, Sui, and Aptos, like, are they about to pump? And everyone's like, what do you mean pump? Like everything's dumping. Because guys, like I'm not thinking about what's happening now. I'm thinking about what's going to come up, right? Like this is the job of a trader, is the job of an investor. Is you always have to think like what's going to come next. That huge wave of liquidations, all this stuff. In my opinion, that was healthy and that was super necessary and not surprising in the slightest, and something that in my opinion sets the stage for a big rally because you need all those speculators and everyone to like panic sell and whatever, and that sets the stage. It kind of like wipes the slate clean so that we can keep heading higher. And I do think that this is going to be the case definitely for ADA, Link, and Algo. Of course, all three of these cryptos have massive communities and are obviously very big and very let's say blue chip projects With that being said, guys, this is a perfect segue to the Coin Bureau Club, of course, which I'm going to be shilling at the end of every single video. That's because the Coin Bureau Club is where we do deep dives into small cap altcoins every single week. These altcoins are voted on by our members. We basically run a poll every Monday that concludes on Friday. This week, we're voting for XRP related cryptos like XRP altcoins, and the poll will be closing on Friday. So if you do want to participate in that, then take advantage of the link in the description, and become a member so you can vote before that time is up. We have a research feed where we're posting insights every single day. A lot of the alpha that I'm sharing at the end of this video comes from stuff that I'm posting in the research feed. Of course, it only scratches the surface of the stuff that I'm talking about. The team portfolio, of course, we showcase our personal crypto portfolios, including our watch list, like the cryptos that we're considering adding. We have an exclusive deals page where you can find like super big discounts on these like crypto analytics and crypto tracking platforms that we've secured with some pretty strong negotiation. And of course, we have a members Discord where you can ask us questions and where I'm doing technical analysis on Bitcoin and Ethereum every single day, and also on select altcoins. And of course, if I do have some time, then I'll definitely help you guys out with your TA if I have the time. Obviously, like there's no guarantees there. It's not something we promise, but it's something I do try to do when I have a little bit of time. With that being said, guys, if you did make it this far, then it's time for you to get some alpha here, and I hope it doesn't erase the charts. For today's alpha, I'm looking at the others chart. Those of you who are in the Coin Bureau Club will know this is a chart I've been sharing quite frequently. What others basically measures is and I'll say it twice, basically others measures the total market cap of all the cryptos outside of the top 10. So put differently, it's basically like all the altcoins. If you take all the altcoins outside of the top 10 and combine them, then this is what you get. Like this is the chart that you get. And the reason why this chart is important because it basically tells you how altcoins are doing, like what's going on with altcoins, like broadly. It kind of cuts out like all this stuff coming from like Solana and like these large cap altcoins and stable coins and stuff, which can really warp like the market cap size. With using others, you can see things quite clearly. And this is where, guys, and it's something I think I mentioned yesterday in the Coin Bureau Club, is like, I don't know how to put this in a way that people understand, but like you are severely, and I guess I'll say this as a general statement. I know some of you understand this, but I think most people and most of you guys watching are severely underestimating just how big the upcoming rally is going to be. Okay. Um, what I see, and again, I could be completely wrong, so I should start by saying that. But what I see here, guys, is a repeat of the pattern, that we saw between late December last year and February this year, like that resulted in that huge rally to the spring highs. We are basically seeing a repeat of that on a massive scale, as you can see. So of course we have like this kind of like we basically had like a rally, then a little bit of a chop down, an accumulation zone, and then like a little bit of resistance, and then a huge blow off top, and then like some profit taking, some distribution, and then another like gradual grind lower. And I do think that we're about to see the exact same thing again on a much larger scale, where we had like this we have kind of like this rally, we have a grind down, we have an accumulation, we have we have like this initial rally, and then as soon as we get above like this chopping zone. And again, the reason why I drew these boxes is because you can see a similar thing happen here, where basically before it really broke out, it saw a pretty sizable correction, lots of liquidations. In this case, it's like way bigger, obviously, but you basically see a few days or even a couple weeks here of kind of chop before prices start moving higher. And I do think this is what's going to happen, is that by the end of the month, others is going to be headed higher, and you're going to be looking at a massive move, which across all altcoins, if we actually do the measurement, I think you're looking at like something like a 40 or 50% gain on average. Again, it doesn't mean that every altcoin is going to go up 40, 50%. Some altcoins will go up by more, some will go up by less, some won't move at all. But on aggregate, like if you're holding like a quality altcoin that people are familiar with, then there's going to be very sizable gains in the coming weeks. It doesn't mean it's going to happen tomorrow. It's going to take probably, to get out of this box like it was before, it's probably going to take maybe another week or so to really get like a clean break out of that box. But that clean break is coming, and it will be happening by the end of the year, in my opinion. And going into the beginning of next year, we're going to see a massive blow off. And assuming that we see a similar thing to last time, you're going to be looking at at least a few weeks of like a very, very massive move, and then potentially like a month of chop and distribution before prices correct. And then I do think after that correction that we're going to see another leg higher, and that's going to be like the blow off top. But again, guys, as I've been saying, I have to take my own advice. Can't think too far forward. Can't have like too much of a bias here. When it comes to the others chart, in my opinion, what I'm seeing here is quite clear that we're about to see a monster move. And again, like just as I've been saying in the Coin Bureau Club, like do not underestimate what is coming. Be happy with what you've allocated to, and just hold it. That's not financial advice. It's just with this amount of volatility and liquidations, you're going to get wrecked if you don't do that. So just do keep that in mind. Like for most of us, trading frequently is not going to be a profitable strategy. Just find quality altcoins and holding them until they hit their targets, whatever your targets are. That's probably going to be more profitable for most of us, including me. With that being said, guys, if you did make it this far, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, ping that notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one.